Grab your favorite sidewalk chalk or chalk pastels and let's draw a live action stitch together. You guys probably know by now I'm using my headset to get the image down nice and quick, but if you'd like me to show you the drawing tutorial of this, just comment below and I'll create a separate video for that. On a piece this size, I like to start on the outside or at the very top and work my way inside and down. So I'm going to start with the inside of the ears. I start with a base layer of a light pink and a little peach or coral on top, just because that matches closely to the sticks I have on hand and the reference photo. If you have other colors, just pick what works best for you to get as close to your reference image as possible. Then just blend that in with your finger or preferred blending tool. I prefer to start with the shadow, so I'm going in with a light gray, and I even will add a little bit of red just to darken some of the areas and create a little bit more shadows and contrast. I'm working on a really smooth surface, so I'm actually applying it really lightly and then kind of blending it in with my finger really lightly on top. You can see there's a lot of dust involved, so I'm having to be really careful with that. So your surface might be different. Just understand a little bit of what your surface is trying to do and then try to either go less or a little bit more aggressive with your blending depending on your surface area. Then I'm going to grab a white and go back on top to do some of the highlights. In this step, I'm really just comparing to my reference image of where is it lighter in the reference image compared to where is it not to apply the light. Then for the main head and body, I'm grabbing 3 different blues. I'm grabbing a light blue, kind of a medium or mid-tone blue, and then a darker blue. And then this is just my quick test to make sure that there's enough variation between all 3 of them before I get started. Then I'm just color matching to my reference image which blue is going to work best. So around the eyes, I'm going with a light blue, and then some other areas I'm working in with more of that middle or mid-tone blue. I'm coloring it in all one solid color, then I'm going to blend it over on top nice and smooth again. And then as it meets a transition to another color, so like this light and this mid-tone blue, I'm going to really work to blend those 2 together so that it just has a smooth, soft transition. Then I'm going to go in with my darker blue, that's more of my shadow, to fill in the spots that are a little bit darker according to my reference image. Again, I'm just going in really lightly. I'm kind of sticking to more strokes so it does give off a little bit more texture even when I blend it in, but we'll come back and add texture in a little bit, so don't worry if it's not showing too much texture right now. This is where a little patience and some consistency pays off, so I will continue to go back over those shadows until I feel like I get the color right. Sometimes, especially with this softer surface, I can't always blend right back on top of it. My chalk starts to move or it doesn't really stick into the ground anymore. So just be aware of that. And what you can see here is I'm just letting the chalk sit on top as I get more and more layers on there. But continue to work it. Use the chalk and the ground to your advantage. A lot of times it will create the texture for you just by the 2 materials coming together. Just like before, we're then going to go in with our highlights. We're just doing it really lightly so it sticks to just a lighter blue when I mix it together. It doesn't look too white when I pull it together. And then again, I'm just using my reference image to see where do I need to pull out some of those areas that are more of a highlight. And with this being a highlight, I didn't want to blend it in too much because it wasn't as noticeable. So I did leave it pretty rough and didn't blend it as much with the surface area to keep it that textured look and to keep it a lot brighter. Then I'm repeating these steps section by section throughout the piece as I work my way from the top to the bottom. If you're ever concerned with chalk traveling outside of your outline, one of the things that I like to do is I will take my finger and actually blend on the outline first and outline the outline with my finger essentially and make sure that it kind of locks in all of the chalk around there. Once you're finished, just take a step back and check out your work, see what went really well and see what you have opportunities to improve on. Not every piece is going to go perfect, so do your best, continue to stay consistent and keep practicing with those layers, and good luck out there.